Watch meteorologist Julie Broughton weekdays on News 6 starting at 4 p.m. Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood. Now at 4 p.m.
Now at 4, we are learning the man accused of breaking into a home and killing a pastor's wife has been linked to another break-in within the same neighborhood.
But for shocking new details about an Orange County teacher accused of asking children to perform online sex acts, there could be dozens more victims. This is News 6 at 4. I'm Lisa Bell.
And I'm Ginger Gadsden. The teacher taught music at Hunter Creek Middle School. He's out of the classroom and behind bars. News 6's Angie Casado was in court today and learned he's not getting out anytime soon. President Trump is continuing to keep his promise to slash the size of the federal government.
Today's update includes the Department of Government Efficiency working to shut down the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. News 6's Matt Austin is in studio with more on that.
Yeah, guys, that group works to shield customers from predatory banks and lenders. Congress established the Independent Watchdog Bureau after the recession in 2008. President Trump ordered the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau closed this week, while Republican lawmakers seem happy with the idea, saying the agency has been out of control for some time. Some experts say the Bureau has actually helped people retain much of the money they're making.
In just 14 years, that agency has returned over $20 billion to more than 200 million ripped off Americans in all 50 states.
This move follows similar Trump administration cuts, including placing 2,000 U.S. aid staffers on administrative leave, a move a federal judge blocked on Friday. In a separate case, a federal judge hears arguments in Boston today on the administration's buyout offer presented to around 2 million federal employees. There are claims that Congress hasn't agreed to the funding for that shutdown. According to the government, more than 65,000 workers have accepted that buyout offer so far. The buyout offer stands until midnight tonight, according to the White House, though multiple unions believe it to be unlawful. Ladies.
Matt, thank you. We are learning new information about the man accused of breaking into a pastor's home and attacking his wife, who ended up dying from that attack.
Police believe the same man also broke into another house in the same neighborhood in Orlando. News 6's Catherine Silver uncovered the connection in newly filed court records. Orlando City Council members approved funding for a study of Sunrail extension along the Sunshine Corridor. The project would connect Sunrail to Orlando International Airport, International Drive, and Disney Springs. Leaders say more studies need to be done before the project can get state and federal funding. The Florida Department of Transportation has pledged $2 million if local governments cover the rest. In today's meeting, council members approved spending $500,000 on the study. With this approval, Orlando takes a big step toward enhancing its transportation network, promising easier access and greater connectivity for people who live here and visitors alike.
The city of Orlando is proposing a new homeless shelter and services center. A meeting was held this afternoon at Orlando City Hall to discuss the plans. News 6's Laverne McGee is live with what she is learning. Laverne?
Not too long ago here at City Hall, they approved the expansion of a shelter which will include a new women and children's facility, and they say that this is not going to be like any shelter we've seen in the past. They've also told me that this new facility will also include healthcare services and much more. Reporting live from Orlando City Hall, Laverne McGee, Getting Results, News 6.
There is definitely a big need. Laverne, thank you. The Philadelphia Eagles are the Super Bowl champions, and that means they are celebrating at Disney World. A News 6 employee, Lupe, sent us this video. She had a great view out there today. The Eagles dominated in their game against Kansas City last night in New Orleans. They won 40-22 and denied the Chiefs their third victory in a row. Right after the game, Philly quarterback Jalen Hurts said he would be at Disney World today in that iconic commercial, of course. A little more than an hour ago, he was part of the parade alongside his teammates at Magic Kingdom. Gorgeous day for a parade, too.
Oh, my gosh. You know, I know these guys are professionals. They get paid for that. But I feel like I just watched the game last night.
Right.
And it was not here. And here they are.
So you're saying you feel like they need a bit more rest?
They don't need rest.
I think that the adrenaline is just so high right now.
They're not going to sleep for days.
And by the way, this is a bit of a homecoming for some Eagles players. They do have several Central Floridians on their team. Jalen Carter went to Apopka High School. C.J. Gardner-Johnson went to Cocoa Buffalo High, and Jelix Hunt went to the University High School in Orange City.
Yeah, we learned all about them. Jamie, our sports director, Jamie Say, told us about them on Friday and said keep an eye on them, and glad we did.
Now they're champions, yes.
Well, the future of NASA's mission to the moon is starting to look unclear.
Yeah, we'll explain why, especially with some employees potentially facing layoffs. Plus, a scheme is going around claiming you need to pay some tolls, the text messages you need to watch out for, and what you should do if you receive those messages. That's coming up.
And we have a beautiful afternoon. This is a live view from our Mount Dora camera. You can see a few clouds out there, and some fog is going to make a comeback in the forecast. I'll break that down and show you when we could see some rain in our local forecast coming up in minutes.
You're watching News 6 at 4, getting results. We will be right back during the break. We are streaming live on Facebook. Search Lisa Bell News on Facebook right now.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
Well, it is a big indication NASA's moon rocket might be canceled far sooner than planned.
So critics have called the space launch system outdated and wasteful for years. But now, with President Trump retaking the White House, Boeing is warning its employees who work on the SLS they could soon lose their jobs. Boeing gave us a statement over the weekend that reads, quote, to align with revisions to the Artemis program and cost expectations, we informed our space launch system team of the potential for approximately 400 fewer positions by April of 2025. News 6's James Barbero has much more on this story from the Space Coast.
And be sure to sign up to get the big space stories sent straight to your inbox. It is all a part of our Covering the Space Coast and Beyond newsletter from News 6 Space Coast reporter James Barbero. Subscribe at clickorlando.com/newsletter.
All right, meteorologist Samira Coquino standing by, pinpointing another toasty day across Central Florida. Samira.
It's felt a lot like May, hasn't it?
Right?
Well
too
above,
soon.
Well above average. A little bit too soon, you know, for some. Others were kind of saying, it's hot. And I'm like, no, hot is like September.
Yeah,
right?
it's coming. It's coming.
Definitely, it is coming. So when we look at your afternoon temperatures, notice that along the coast, it feels pretty nice there in the mid to upper 70s. Across the interior, though, a bit warmer. We're looking at the lower 80s this afternoon, 84 right now in the city. Beautiful. This is what it looks like outside, courtesy of our Light Orlando camera, delivering hope together. You see downtown has a few clouds out there. That gives us a hint that, hey, there's some moisture in the air, and you can feel it outside too. It's not, it's not really all that bad, but it's still 84 degrees. That's about 10 degrees above average for this time of year, and the wind is out of the north-northeast at about 3 miles per hour. Looking at the rest of the afternoon, though, check this out. As we head into 6 and 8 o'clock this evening, if you're planning on getting some exercise done, just know that there will be some sweat involved, especially if you're working out, right, especially outside. Temperatures will be falling from the mid-80s to the upper 70s by 6, lower 70s by about 8 o'clock this later on tonight. Now, when we're talking about what's ahead, we're talking about fog once again for tonight as well as tomorrow night. So we're talking Tuesday and Wednesday mornings being foggy to start, and then after that, we're seeing a lot more sunshine, nearing heat records late in the week ahead of our next cold front. That's going to bring us a few showers. Let's look at the setup here. On the satellite and radar, we do have this system just over our north, and really not going to impact us by much other than shifting that wind and keeping us dry. Now, here is as we head into Tuesday, you'll notice that we're still pulling in some red arrows. That means that warmth continuing. I do believe we stay warm on Tuesday as well as Wednesday as this front meanders to the north of us. Then we'll not, look at this, another front once again Wednesday afternoon coming out of the north and west. You'll notice that it is packing a punch across the deep south going into Tennessee, but meanwhile back here at home, we're still just pulling in more heat, okay? So we're really not talking about seeing rain until this front gets a little bit closer on Thursday. And the thing is, as it's getting closer, it's weakening. So notice we have just a little bit of moisture here and there, and that's about it. It continues to weaken as it pulls through on Friday. So we're not looking at a washout of a forecast for your Valentine's Day. In fact, we're only looking at rain chances of 20 and 30%. But keep in mind, 20 and 30% are not zero, folks. And not everybody will get the rain, but the potential will be there to see it. Your overnight lows tonight will stay in the 60s across most of Central Florida. That fog making a big impact for tomorrow morning. Here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Anderson.
So we'll be off to a foggy start in the afternoon. It clears out, a high of 84 degrees. Now let's get you some results and show your pinpoint accurate 7-day forecast. And as we head into midweek, notice the temperatures start to really rise. We'll be flirting with near record heat or record heat temperatures on Thursday with a high of 89. Behind that front, a few showers on Friday with a 30% coverage and a high of 82 for your Valentine's Day. Going into the weekend of the Daytona 500, check that out. A 40% coverage of rain on Sunday. That's another front bringing us down to average heat as we start next week. Ladies.
All right, Samira, thank you. Seems like downtown Orlando is always changing, and soon it is expected to go through another transformation.
What we're learning about the new entertainment district right next to the Kia Center off I-4. That's next. You're watching News 6 at 4. Getting results. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
Let's take a live look now over downtown Orlando. This is from our Light Orlando camera, and it is beautiful out there. The Magic's new entertainment district could soon be a reality.
The Orlando City Council voted about 2 hours ago on plans for what parts of the project could look like. That venue, West Court, will sit right off I-4 near the Kia Center on an 8-acre plot of land on the corner of Church and Division Streets. Today's approval pushed forward plans for building exteriors, streetscapes, and other parts of the project. The district will feature retail space, apartments, hotels, and entertainment areas. The plan also includes an 1,100-space parking garage along Central Avenue. I can see why a lot of people would want to live down there.
Yeah.
There is, I mean, it's just growing so much. There's a lot to do in that area. You got the soccer stadium not too far.
But that last thing you said, the parking garage, because that's the big issue for everyone going anywhere downtown or anywhere in Orlando.
You're also near Sunrail, close to a lot of things down there. So
it's going to be great.
Well, we could soon be seeing the end of the penny.
Why the president wants the U.S. Treasury to stop minting them. That's next. Plus, you've probably seen or even gotten one of these fake texts saying you owe tolls. We'll tell you about these schemes going around and how you can protect your money. You're watching News 6 at 4, Getting Results. We'll be right back.
Watch Lisa Bell weekdays on News 6 starting at 4 p.m. Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood. Now at 4:30.
Now at 4:30, another local city working to develop solutions to flooding and change the way developers build.
But first, we are digging into a growing scheme that's targeting people right here in Central Florida. Glad you're with us. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Lisa Bell. This is News 6 at 4:30, Getting Results. Okay, so you may have seen this. It starts with a simple text message claiming you owe tolls. Ginger's received some of these. But as News 6 investigator Lewis Bolden explains, it is a trick designed to get your personal information. Here's this week's Schemes and Ripoffs alert. Ginger, did you upload your driver's license number?
I did not do anything to fast track
your payment.
But that's the company. It says your fast track lane tolls are due by this date. Pay it now to avoid a fine and to keep your license. When you see that, to keep your license, what? You just want to just take care of it.
Exactly. And if you use tolls from time to time,
which I do,
seems
we all
legitimate.
Do. Yeah.
All right, President Trump is set to announce new tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports into the U.S. The move would apply to all countries, including Canada and Mexico. Reporter Jared Hill explains what this means for you. Meantime, President Trump has ordered a halt to the minting of new pennies. The reason? Cost cutting. The president posted on Truth Social calling the penny wasteful. Each one costs more than 2 cents to produce. His decision is part of a broader push to slash government spending led by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. The U.S. Mint lost $85 million last year on pennies alone. It is unclear if the president has the power to eliminate the 1 cent coin. Currency specifications, including the size and metal content of coins, are dictated by Congress.
New Smyrna Beach is looking to change its development regulations. Tomorrow, the City Council will have a public hearing and vote on changes to the city's rules. It would have a big impact on how developers can build. And it all centers on finding a solution to the flooding in recent years. News 6's Molly Reed is in New Smyrna Beach with how it would work. All right, a heads up, we are hitting the road and listening to the issues important to you. So join us Wednesday, February 19th. We'll bring you the news live from Ormond Beach at Grind Gastro Pub and Kona Tiki Bar from 4 to 7 p.m. Come meet us and share your stories and concerns. We'll see you then.
A heads up, today is the last day to register to vote in next month's elections for some local cities. The elections are happening in Belle Isle, Maitland, Ocoee, Windermere, and Winter Park. Voters will have a chance to decide on local leaders, including mayor and council members. In Ocoee, there will be a referendum question on the ballot that has to do with the city's commission. In Winter Park, voters will decide on a referendum that would repeal a ban on gas-powered leaf blowers. That was a heated topic in the city last year. So we put together a web story with every election happening this year and the important dates you need to look out for. Remember, local elections oftentimes they have a bigger impact on your day-to-day life than national elections. You can scan the QR code right now on your screen. Click that link and it will take you to that story. You can also find it on the homepage of clickorlando.com. Tucked away in a corner of Mount Dora sits a nuclear bomb shelter from the Cold War era.
Coming up, we're getting some answers about a forgotten piece of history. Samara.
Temperatures are in the 70s and 80s this afternoon. I'll show you how much hotter it's going to get and when we could see some rain return to Central Florida.
You're watching News 6 at 4:30 on a Monday. Getting results. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by your Central Florida Honda dealers.
WKMG has been hitting the road, and we've gone from town to town to town. We've been talking to you, exploring your city, and getting results. We're getting to know you in a whole new way.
I finally get to see the people that I see on TV in person.
There's not many news stations that would do that.
We're broadcasting live from Grind Gastro Pub and Kona Tiki Bar, February 19th from 4 to 7 p.m. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back. It is 4:41 on this Monday afternoon. Here's a live view from our Lunch Credit Union camera at Cape Canaveral this afternoon. Absolutely beautiful with plenty of sunshine. And man, it has been warm. Right now along the coast, a little bit cooler than interior temperatures, which I'll show you in a moment. It is 77 out there along the coast with the wind at about 10 miles per hour, gusting at 11 miles per hour out of the northeast. But look across our interior, temperatures in the upper 70s to low to mid 80s, so a bit warmer the farther west you are from I-95. So that's definitely been well above average. And I do believe as you're heading out and about to do some evening exercises outside to enjoy these temperatures while they last, they're going to fall a little bit. So by 6 o'clock this evening, we'll be at 77, 8 o'clock around the lower 70s. So just enjoy it, but you definitely want to carry some water so you stay hydrated. We have been dry, folks. We're looking at the water vapor imagery. We have this front kind of falling apart across Central Florida, but definitely providing us a lot of dry air, keeping us on the dry side. And I do believe that as we head into the next couple of days, we're going to see a shift in that. I'll show you that in just a moment. Looking at the latest drought monitor, you see most of Central Florida in this dry category, not moderately dry until you see the northwestern portion of, I would say, Polk County getting closer to Lakeland and maybe a far western half of Sumter County. But for the most part, we are about an inch or so below where we should be for this time of year in terms of rainfall totals. So we definitely do need a little bit of rain to kind of help us out in that category. But over the next couple of days, we are going to be dry. But by Thursday and Friday, there comes that small shot of rain, 20 and 30% chance for some rain. I know it's not a big chance, but it's not dry either. So, and while not everybody will get the rain, there will be some that do get blessed with some of that rain to help out with the lawns out there. So looking at the clouds and rain forecast as we head into Tuesday afternoon, notice that we do have this front. It's going to stay to our north, okay? So this isn't going to be our next weather maker, but it is going to help drag in some of that warmer air into Central Florida, courtesy of the winds shifting a little bit out of the south and eventually the southwest. So here comes our next rainmaker, though. This is when we'll be coming from the north and west. It does pack a punch as it crosses the northern Gulf Coast, but then as it gets closer to Central Florida or even the Panhandle, notice it's still a good amount of rain, but as it gets closer to Central Florida, it kind of falls apart, right? So that's why our rain chances are only at about 20 and 30%. There could be maybe a little pocket of heavy rain here and there, but I think for the most part, we're still going to remain with rain chances around 20 or 30%. So here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast. Your overnight lows will stay in the 60s with fog again lingering through early tomorrow morning. So you will have to deal with that. But as we look ahead into tomorrow afternoon, your high temperatures head back to the lower 80s. Again, that wind will shift out of the east, turning to the south at about 5 to 10 miles per hour in the afternoon. Now let's get you some results to show you your pinpoint accurate 7-day forecast. And as we head into midweek, notice Tuesday and Wednesday mornings are going to be foggy, but then turning sunny and getting a bit warmer. 87 for your forecast on Wednesday. By Thursday, look at this, only a 20% coverage of rain. We're flirting with record high temperatures of 89 that day. Friday is Valentine's Day, looking pretty good. I don't think it's going to be a washout for your evening sweet plans or anything like that. Your high of 82 degrees. Behind that front, though, look at that. It's really not a big cool down, right? But we have another front coming in on Sunday. That's where we're going to see a game changer, a 40% coverage of rain, and then turning sunny with highs near 73. Typically, folks, we should be around 74 or 75 degrees for this time of year. So most of this week is going to be well above that, but by the start of next week, that could be completely different. Ladies?
Looks pretty nice, Samara. Thank you. Well, it may be the best kept secret in Mount Dora, a 5,000 square foot nuclear bomb shelter built during the Cold War, though few people know its exact location. Last week, we saw Matt and Ginger head out to go look for this bunker. And Ginger, you kept us in suspense.
You tried to bully me and get the information out of me, but I kept my lips sealed. So on today's edition of Florida's Fourth Estate, we get some answers about a piece of underground history, the so-called Mount Dora catacombs. So we kind of found it through someone else. We found it through someone else. I'm honestly, like, as I said, I'm glad we didn't find it because there are crickets, roaches, mold, mildew, and the smell.
Hot, and it smells.
I'm not interested in going down.
Imagine all the mold down there and that sort of thing. So I'm glad we got to live through his video. I'm pretty confident that we ended up finding the place, but we didn't want to give any identifying features because they don't want people showing up all the time. I have seen
YouTubers who say, oh, we found it, it's right here. You didn't find it because it's not outside.
Right.
It's not, and everyone assumes that it's outside under this orange grove, and we did too, until we met who we think is the homeowner.
It could reach out into the orange grove.
Whatever. All I'm saying is it's there, it exists, we're not crazy. And
it's a great story.
Do not want to go down there. And
never
also,
want to go down.
Nomius G, that's a fish's name. It's a fish. I had to know about his name. It's like, no, what's a Nomius G? It's a type of fish.
This whole story is fishy.
It is.
Yes.
I know. That's why we wanted to go and check it out.
Yeah,
if you want to see the first part of the search, you can check it out on YouTube or clickorlando.com.
I loved going on the hunt, though. For me, it was about the journey, and it was great. And I can't wait to do more of those because there's so many other fascinating places in Florida in general that we need to get to the bottom of.
We got to meet a bunch of people in Mount Dora. There's some good folks. Some good News 6 viewers there, must say.
Love
Very
them.
nice.
All right. So here's Matt with what's ahead on News 6 at 5 o'clock.
All right. A lot more coming up for you. Ginger and Lisa, it's the most magical place on earth, especially when you see what they're doing for Florida manatees, the program that plans to rehab even more of the gentle giants before their return to the wild. Plus,
after a neo-Nazi leader was convicted of trying to disrupt the power grid, we did some digging and learned that he started his hate group here in Central Florida. We also found out there are several more of those hate groups here in this state. I'm Eric Von Eichen with why this is everybody's problem and why you need to know about this coming up.